Yeah, I want to just in 5-10 minutes now share some ideas that everything started in 2014 with a name that was Guanyem Barcelona, that means let's win back Barcelona, and that was like the original manifesto. I also can share this presentation with you at the end of this amazing meeting. We are living in a time of deep changes, taking advantage of the economic crisis. The financial powers have launched an open offensive against the social rights and conquest of majority of population. However, the longing for real democracy is becoming stronger and stronger in the streets, in town squares, online, and also in the ballot boxes. So it was the idea to first, with the indignation, fill the squares, and then the ballot boxes, and then now the city hall in Barcelona since 2015. But it was not only in Barcelona, this municipalist, I would say, democratic revolution experiment, but also in all of these cities that went to elections in 2015. Similar citizen-led municipal platforms start to appeal all over Spain. Ada Colau was a well-known activist, anti-eviction, that the months before the elections was spreading lots of messages in the social networks, like this New Year message, Happy Democratic Revolution 2015, that we can share tomorrow, because now I have lots of videos here that in 10 minutes will not fit. But also the idea of involvement of lots of designers and artists in Barcelona in a movement called Movimiento de Liberación Gráfica de Barcelona, that means Movement for the Graphical Liberation of Barcelona, doing like this poster, handmade campaign art for Guanyem, that was the first name of this political space, with some parties joining, like this one you are seeing them. And some months later, it was an interesting, afraid moment that was some people from the right parties in Valencia, they registered with copyright the name we were using, that was Guanyem, so we had to change some months before the elections to another name that is now Barcelona en Comú. And this was the story written with a well-known drawer or illustrator that is called Gallardo, from the Movimiento de Liberación Gráfica de Barcelona. This is another example of graphic design applied to the organigram and transparency culture of this movement, where you see the organizations like trying to not do hierarchical, but flat and round, but also organized, using lots of face-to-face meetings like this, but also lots of digital tools. Transparency should be the norm, not the exception, like Ada Colau was saying. Here you have the Twitter user of one of the main activists in the International Commission of Barcelona en Comú. She's Kate She-Baird. I recommend you to follow her, Kate SB, in Twitter. We have also a code of political ethics with democratization of political representation, auditing and accountability, financing, transparency, professionalization of politics, reduction of privilege, and measures to tackle corruption. And we made even a couple of films, and one of these films even won one of the main prizes in cinema in Catalonia and Spain, that it's called The Gaudí. Is the film about how an anti-eviction activist, Ada Colau, became Barcelona's first female mayor. I want to share with you the trailer. Is it here? Yeah, I think so. We have 5 minutes left? Yeah. I don't know if we have good connection. If not, I can share it with you. Sorry, I don't know where was the presentation. But yeah, we did lots of videos, graphic design, and film. And the story began in 2011, as you will remember, with the springs in the squares, feeling of rage and indignation about how the political power were working for the economic powers instead of the citizens. And that was the 15M or 15M, the 15th of May in Madrid, Barcelona, and other Spanish cities, and they are still tweeting. And this was some days after, when thousands attending the investiture of Ada Colau, the first woman mayor of Barcelona, back to the squares, kick us out if we don't do what we've promised, was saying Ada Colau. And this was the result of the Spanish elections in 2015 in the main cities, 8 cities where radical municipalism has shaken the local election in Spain. As you see, Madrid, Barcelona, Zaragoza, Cádiz, A Coruña, Santiago, Valencia, Tarrasa, and even more like Barcelona or secondary cities in Spain. There's lots of articles with some art and cultural examples that are interesting to share with you. This one from Carlos Del Clos in Open Democracy on searching radical municipalism in Spain towards a new municipal agenda in Spain. Even the big media was starting to talk about this kind of new political experience or experiences in Spain. This was the first day of Ada Colau going to work as a mayor in the metro, subway, underground, and going to stop an eviction like she was doing the last years. And the first things to do was do an emergency plan for the first month in government, trying to stop the basic social needs of housing and health, and even to start to rethink the tourism industry in Barcelona, that it's 10 million tourists a year, and it's like the threat of disappear the authentic soul of Barcelona. So now it's an interesting topic. And of course, talking about sharing is also an international thing, not only local. And as you may know, the refugee crisis in Spain, it was supposed to arrive thousands of people, like in the agreement we did with the economic union. But they are not arriving because the Spanish government are stopping with bureaucratical topics the things. So the cities like Barcelona and many others are working to open the doors to host refugees, and joining the Refugees Welcome International campaign. Also, you can see always like with illustrators, local illustrators mainly, the campaigns. And when we finished here in Pula, in Rojc, this experiment, or that you've been doing for years. We start one that is called Fearless Cities, that you are all invited to come to Barcelona from 9 to 11th of June, where we want to share the municipal experiments like grassroots movements, bottom-up experiments that we are reshaping the cultural and the political sphere in Europe that is not coming from the top, so we are doing bottom-up. Ciudades sin miedo, ciudades sense por in Catalan, Spanish and English. The idea is to feminize politics, to make this net of sanctuary cities for the refugees, talk about municipal movements, share experiences, commons and public space, because we are also, like you were saying, not only talking about public management, but most of the cultural and even media projects that we are working on are about to empower citizens to do and manage what they do in the cultural or community sense. So, for example, we are about to build a communal radio and participator a community TV for Barcelona, and the idea is not to manage from the city hall but from the people, so they can say whatever they want and even criticize the city hall. Democracy was born at local level, and that's where we can win it back. fearlesscities.com. Also, we have a hashtag, fearlesscities, and I will try for the last time to share this video with you, just to invite you to Barcelona from 9 to 11th of June to this Fearless Cities Summit.
En estos tiempos hemos visto muchas cosas. Hemos visto cómo echaban a gente de sus casas, mientras miles de edificios seguían vacíos. Hemos visto recortados los derechos que tanto tardamos en conquistar. Y cómo la justicia era igual solo para unos pocos. Hemos visto cómo cambiaban gobiernos, aunque a veces parece que siempre gobiernen para los mismos. También hemos visto cómo volvían fantasmas de un pasado que creíamos lejano, cómo se construían muros cada vez más altos y cómo el mar, que tenía que hermanarnos, se convertía en una gran fosa común. Pero también hemos tomado calles y plazas con nuestras protestas. Hemos llenado primaveras de esperanza y solidaridad. Hemos descubierto que no estamos solas y que juntas podemos hacer lo imposible, que podemos construir desde abajo y empezar a ganar nuestros pueblos y ciudades. El espacio local es donde nació la democracia y será donde podamos defenderla y fortalecerla. Frente al odio, los muros y las fronteras, construiremos redes globales de solidaridad y esperanza. Porque no tenemos miedo. Ciudades sin miedo. Compartir, aprender y construir un movimiento municipalista global. Del 9 al 11 de junio en Barcelona.
Okay, Fearless Cities. We can talk about everything more in Barcelona, like the projects we are doing of spaces car-free to fight against atmospheric pollution, and the 2 or 3 examples of places like the Rojc here in Pula, but in Barcelona, that are also interesting. If you want, we can join it now in the chat or tomorrow in the workshop. So, well, thank you.